Oh, hey, we added somebody else here.
Look at this handsome fella.
Naked and Afraid Castaways has ended.
And Andrew Shayde joins us this afternoon to tell us more about his experience and the outcome of the show. Might I say it? Go ahead and give us the outcome of the show, Andrew.
I survived.
Yay! I was gonna say, so you know, previous attempts, it's like, all right, you didn't quite make it, but this time.
Third time's a charm for me, for sure. I literally was dropped on an island like Robinson Crusoe, had to survive 21 days, and I did it.
Congratulations! This is so exciting. I mean, we love to see you. The first time you told me something bite you. The first time you.
Yeah, I must have real sweet blood. That's what my mom always say. You must have sweet blood.
Yeah, sweet skin. Yeah, my youngest daughter's like that.
And ticks and sandflies and all those on this island were terrible. We were out in the middle of the Pacific.
I was watching video of you all trying to start a fire.
Oh, it was a
and
nightmare.
that looked awful.
It was I looked like such a goofball. But it was so hard out there. Naked and Afraid Castaways is kind of this spinoff, and we had no supplies. Often on that franchise, that series has been around for over 10 years. You start with a fire starter or a knife or pots or whatever. We had nothing. So it was literally like our boat had sank in the ocean, and we swam to this island, which we did, had to swim there, and just had to survive off what we had, what we could find. And it was fun, it was terrifying, it was brutal, it was exciting. I cried from frustration, I cried from happiness. It was like emotions were all over the place. But I'm proud to say, finally, I have completed 21 days on Naked and Afraid, and that's going to be bragging rights for me for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get like a little naked man trophy on my shelf or something.
I'm curious, what's the diet like on the island out there when you're basically foraging?
You know, so because we're on an island, you know, we really try to use the ocean. If you know how to use it, it's like a refrigerator full of food. Of course, we didn't have fishing poles, we didn't have fishing line, we have hooks and nothing.
So you're out there making up stuff?
Exactly. So me and a couple of my tribe mates, I was out there, we started this game called Fling the Crab. They would get out in the low water, find a crab and fling it on shore, and I'd be standing there ready to catch a crab. It just became our game. So we had a lot of crab, these things called limpets, which are terrible. My tribe mate tricked me into eating a sea cockroach because they wouldn't do it, and they're like, oh, we've already eaten ours, and they hadn't, and they just gave me the one. It was awful. So if you're a picky eater, this is not for you. I don't like eating seafood at all, so this was a struggle for me. But yeah, I'm so proud. Like, it's such a crazy adventure to go out and take away your cell phone, no radio, no internet, no nothing, just to be stripped of everything. And that's what the show's really about, is do we still have it inside our DNA to survive like we did thousands of years? And now I get to say, I do.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you prepare for something like this? Were you a Boy Scout when you were younger?
Yeah, I did Scouts growing up. My dad and I like to go hunting and fishing and be outdoors. I just love adventure and danger. I was always a make-believe kid, so I grew up near like Veterans Park, which wasn't even a park back then, it was just the woods.
The woods.
Now there's schools back there and all, so I would play in that creek growing up all day, every day. And I just feel like the outdoors, that's where adventure happens. And I'm like, I want to have adventure in my life. And not many adventures happen on your couch. So I just like, I gotta get up, gotta do something wild. And you know, some of the adventures I've gotten to do, like the Amazing Race I did years ago, and Naked and Afraid 3 times. Currently on Buddy Games here on WKRP.
Right? I mean, come on.
They're just adventures. I'm just trying to rack up every adventure I can.
Now, did you tell your friends and family that you'd last, or did they find out literally as they're watching?
Nope, I don't tell anybody. I just let them kind of see it as it unfolds. And
what was their reaction like?
They're super proud. Everyone was so great. You know, you kind of, especially after my first 2 attempts at this series, and both were in Africa, I really struggled mentally or medically. Was removed. The doctor for the show said you physically are in danger of dying. We have to pull you out. And then the second time, I was losing sleep, so I suffered from really severe insomnia, which makes you emotional and makes your decision making weird. You can be as tough as you can be. I don't care if you're the hardest, most trained Marine in the entire world. If you're not sleeping, you're down, and that's what killed me the second time. So this time, I tried to take everything I'd learned from Scouts and being in Africa a couple times and hunting trips with my dad, just take all this knowledge. I was like, nothing is going to stop me this time, nothing. And honestly, my third challenge was harder than my first 2 in Africa, but I think I was just so much more determined. Like, I wanted to know what it felt like to cross that finish line.
You did.
If somebody wants to go back and watch this entire thing, is it streaming somewhere?
It is, yeah. Naked and Afraid. You can find all seasons on both Discovery Plus and Max.
Okay.
Formerly HBO.
Right. Oh, right. Oh,
I still say that. Like,
yeah, I do too. Yeah.
So now we have to make sure to check you out on Buddy Games and get all that information.
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes.
exciting.
Last night was just the second episode. It's on Thursday nights. Next Thursday it'll be on at 8 p.m. They moved it up an hour for whatever reason, so 8 p.m. Here on WKYT or on WKYT and CBS. And that one was just completely different. Stressful in its own way.
Plus maybe with your
emotional in its
friends.
own way.
Right.
Yep. I took 3 of my closest friends that I've known for 15 plus years, and we went out and competed against other friend groups. And these games are goofy, it's lighthearted, it's family friendly, but it's starting to get heated because we start to see teams lose their friends.
So people
If
still
you
wanna
lose a
win.
challenge, you lose one of your friends. So all of a sudden we're like, whoa, this is real. And the last thing you want to do is be out there and have to make one of your friends leave. So all of a sudden it went from like, oh, this is so fun, it's like summer camp, to like, holy, this is tough. And so there's a lot of tears. I've kind of like been scrolling like some of the social media sites, and everybody's like, who knew I was going to be cheering and screaming in my living room, and then 5 minutes later crying my eyes out. It is such an emotional series, and it was, of course, a million times emotional being out there next to the people, you know, who you're going through this with. It's a wild one. If you love like Survivor, Big Brother, any of those shows, like this is right up your alley. But I think even if that's not your bag, it's cool to see because it's friend groups. So I think you'll be watching and be like, oh, I'm going to take India, and I'm going to take this person, and you're going to climb the ladder, and you would eat that thing, and you would do that puzzle, and you like kind of run through those scenarios. And they're actually casting, I believe, for season 2. So
we'll let people know about that.
Might
well,
have everybody else
congratulations.
to do it.
We're glad you made it. And thank you for coming in.
Thank you.